Hello, fight fans, and welcome back to the Hit and Don't Get Hit podcast in partnership with smartbraceletuk.com. Enter the code in the description below for 30% off. Also, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and our links will be down below. Today, it's just myself and Shay, as James unfortunately couldn't make it, but nevertheless, we have a great podcast lined up for you today. Shay, how are you doing?
First and foremost, I want to say it's nice to get a break from James. When I get, I'm not joking. I'm doing good, scrapping on as usual. Still recovering off the weekend. Obviously, probably the best UFC card I've ever seen. Like, I just can't wait to jump into it.
I totally agree with that. It was unbelievable. I think we'll start off with the first, chronologically, the first of the three title fights. We'll go with Shevchenko, Andrade. It was absolute domination.
Like I said in the previous podcast, it was a masterclass. It was just unbelievable from her. Like, there's no one like at 1-2-5 couldn't even touch her. She's phenomenal in every aspect of the game. She beat Andrade in her own game. She ragdolled her. She walked her down, beat her up. I think she's just special. It's very, very special.
Absolutely, it was an incredible performance. She landed. I'm just looking here. She landed 7 out of the 7 takedowns she attempted, all with just seemingly total ease. She also landed 90 out of 97 strikes in the fight with a 32 out of 39 significant strike rate, which is 82%. And that just shows, even if you didn't watch the fight, that just shows how incredible it was. From minute one, not even minute one, like after 10 seconds straight away, it was like, well, she's going to destroy her here. Whereas the other fights, I was like, oh, where's it going to go? Whereas that fight, it was straight off the bat, just like, she's got this easily.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be I knew exactly how the fight was going to play. From round one, it was just going to be utter domination. But I thought Andrade might have the toughness to withstand the onslaught. But yeah, she's in a league of her own, Valentina. And I'm just curious though. Like, there is a flyweight #1 contender fight coming up, Joanne Calderwood against Lauren Murphy. But then again, like, there's not on a level really. Does she stay at 1-2-5? Probably. I think for this year, definitely. I think she'll fight another. I might say another twice, like 2 times, something like that. Obviously, the winner of that, and then another flyweight title fight. But yeah, like I said, league of our own. That division's wrapped up as far as I'm concerned. There's no one beating Valentina Shevchenko at 1-2-5. There's absolutely no doubt about it.
I agree with that. It's strange in the 4 women divisions, like the obviously flyweight, flyweight, featherweight, and lightweight. They're all seemingly wrapped up. I think strawweight's the only division where it could go either way. But do you see Shevchenko going up and fighting Nunes for a third time, or do you think she should stay at flyweight and just become an absolute legend?
I think she's already.
I mean, she's
legacy, yeah.
She's already a legend, but I mean, cement it even further.
I think that trilogy fights. I think the trilogy fights. It's always going to happen. I think it'll happen. Maybe next year. No one pushes a Nunes like what Shevchenko does. She's the only one that comes close. And I'm so fit. I thought Shevchenko nicked it. Definitely the rematch. She definitely nicked it, in my opinion. So it'll be interesting. Like, to say the trilogy, I think it'll be an unbelievable fight. I think it'll probably be the biggest UFC women's fight in history. Like, 100%. I mean, it was Nunes and Cyborg, but 2 women at two of the greatest, not just female MMA fighters as general of all time, going at it in the primes. I think it'll be just unbelievable to watch, and it should happen. I'd say probably next year, early next year, and then I think I don't know about. I think Nunes might retire after that fight, win, lose, or draw. See if she wins the trilogy. You beat Valentina Shevchenko 3 times. Like, that's wrapped up.
Just going on to Andrade, what do you think's next for her?
She's in a stalemate, really. Like, she's failed at this attempt to get the flyweight title. And obviously she previously lost against Rose at 1-1-5. maybe she goes in there because obviously it's 1-1. She won the first fight, Rose won the second fight. Maybe the trilogy there, maybe get a win or two at strawweight, and then boost yourself up. But apart from that, I don't see you stop on that 125. I think she'll go back down to 115 and fight the contenders there. But definitely not 125. That's Valentina's division. It's complete domination. Like you said, the strawweight's pretty open. But that 125 is written off, in my opinion. Like 135 and 145, that's just gone.
Absolutely. I tell you, I don't know what James was thinking. Thinking Andrade
bizarre.
would win. He put it. If anyone doesn't know, we do like a little like fight predictor on our Instagram, and we all three of us. Sorry, just me and Shea put Shevchenko to win, and James put Andrade to win. That didn't go as planned for him, but then it was an ambitious attempt. But
you gotta give it to him. But aye, that was outrageous from him. Bless him.
No, but Shevchenko was in a league of her own. Like it was just every time she got near her, it was just like she's either gonna batter her down here or she's gonna take her down, and she did it flawlessly every time.
What Shevchenko does, she beats you at your own game. If you're an outstanding striker, she'll strike with you. If you're outstanding grappler, she'll grapple with you and she'll out-grapple you. I think the perfect example was when she was at 135 and she fought Juliana Pena and she took her down and brought a submission game out. It was just unbelievable. But every aspect, I don't see a weakness in Shevchenko, to be fair.
No.
I think she's pretty much untouchable, apart from obviously the Nunes fight.
Yeah, well, when she was on top of Andrade, obviously when she finished the fight, those elbow strikes were incredible. It was just relentless.
Unbelievable. And the way there was a smooth transition to that as well, which was so easy. Like, it was just so fluent. It was just, like, put this way, she made Andrade look like she was an amateur that fight. Andrade didn't get going at all. She just took her apart, basically. And it's probably up there with Nunes and Cyborg. Nunes' performance against Cyborg. That's up there with the greatest woman performance I've ever seen in the UFC. 100%.
Absolutely. Moving on to another good performance.
Outstanding performance, I think.
Zhang Weili against Rose Namajunas. Rose obviously with a round one head kick knockout. Unbelievable. I was on the edge of my seat the whole fight.
Unbelievable.
I didn't know what was going to happen. I kind of went in and I thought that Zhang would win because she's a champion. She's unbeaten in the UFC. But then you don't doubt her. You don't doubt Rose. What a shot that was. I love Joe Rogan's reaction as well.
It's unbelievable. She was unbelievable. She is special, Rose, like 100%. It was just all emotional. Like, it was like when she got that belt wrap round her, like, she started crying. No, it was like
I nearly started crying.
Like, we felt it. But yeah, the performance was unbelievable. Like, take nothing away from Zhang, it was just a perfect shot. And she tried getting back up from it, but it was just too much for her in the end. Like, but Rose is beautiful. Like Rose again, she's beautiful on the feet, she's beautiful on the ground. You know what I mean? Like, can't take that away from her. Like, she's up there as well.
100%. Absolutely. As well, when she landed that shot and then obviously went to the ground and the referee called it, Zhang kind of got up, stumbled about, started to complain, but there was no coming back from that, really.
Nah, it was a right stoppage by the referee. 100%, no doubt about it.
So I've heard a lot of people saying a rematch is imminent. Do you agree with that?
Obviously, there is what people see as a number one contender fight between Yan Xiaonan and Carla Esparza, and people were building up the Chinese fighting to headline another card in China. It would have been unbelievable, be huge over there. But obviously, Rose has put a dent in them plans. But I think, like I said, there should be a rematch straight away. In my opinion, Wei Zhang I feel my heart did go for a little bit. But I think when the rematch happens, it'll be a lot different. Like, it is like going into the fight, it was a 50-50 fight. I'd just seen Zhang edging it, like beating her down, but Rose proved us wrong. She's proved many people wrong in her career. But yeah, brilliant fighter.
Absolutely. I've seen on Twitter as well, Joanna giving it the big and saying that she deserves to fight the winner. But I actually saw a lot of people in the comments saying that she has to take the loser. But if we just look at a kind of a record here, she's lost 4 of her last 6 fights since beating
Yeah.
Andrade. However, those losses have been to Rose twice, Shevchenko once, and obviously Zhang once. And she was unbeaten until she fought those fighters. So does she fit into this picture anymore, or does she need a few wins under her belt before she can
I
challenge
think
for it again?
I think she'll need one more win under her belt. I'm looking at the rankings here, and all booked apart from Marina Rodriguez, who's coming off a win against Amanda Ribas, which was a very impressive win. So maybe he's there. I know Joanna's ranked 3 and Marina Rodriguez is ranked 7. There's obviously Claudia Gadelia, but we've seen that twice. I think, yeah, like at the end of the day, I think Joanna needs to prove herself one more fight. You can't go into a title fight coming off a loss again. I know it was a close loss against Wei Zhang, but times have changed now, and obviously Rose has beat her twice, and you don't want to really jump into that trilogy. Do you know what I mean? Like, but there's no interest there to say Joanna Rose trilogy. Like, I prefer Joanna fight a contender like Marina Rodriguez, Mackenzie Dern maybe. She's top 10.
If we did say that trilogy, though, it's like it's not as if it's like 1-1; it's 2-0.
Exactly.
It'll be pointless.
It is pointless.
I think I think obviously the Rose Zhang fight on Saturday was massive as it was, but I think the rematch could be even bigger. I think that could be huge.
Therefore, it was nice, and it was nice. It was weird in a way, but the crowd. That was one of the biggest, like bar McGregor fight. That atmosphere was unbelievable.
Oh, it was
It was just so nice to see crowds back. Like I've missed them. I hope they stay for the foreseeable future. Like
I know. I hope as well.
Unbelievable.
I think the impact of the fighters, especially. Obviously, we're going to go on to Masvidal in a sec, but it was in his home state. Was it his hometown? I don't know exactly where he's from.
He's from Florida, but it was it's
Miami, Jacksonville. I don't know how far apart they are, but yeah, I think they impacted it a lot. Hence why I think it was like out of the 13 fights, 6 of them were first round finishes.
It was unbelievable.
It wasn't a very long card.
You'll do the UFC's. I doubt we'll see another card like that ever in for a long time. Actually, it was just like it had everything. It was just so entertaining. Obviously, the first one being crowds back was just full capacity. It was just beautiful to watch. Like so entertaining.
I absolutely agree. Moving on, I say the big event. They were all big events, but this one, obviously, the main event, Usman Masvidal, a great fight, a very, very entertaining fight, ending in a huge shot to Masvidal's face, which obviously knocked him out cold.
It was brutal. It was so like I couldn't believe. I predicted Usman would get the stoppage in the end, probably by ground and pound, but I didn't. That caught us by surprise. I didn't know he had that one punch pure power in him. It was unbelievable. Like it caught us by surprise. Obviously, I thought Masvidal looked relaxed in the second round. I thought Usman took the first round though, but Masvidal was looking loose. He was looking relaxed, smiling. Then switch 15 seconds later, the big right hand. It was unbelievable. Like he knocked him out, spark out. I think it was the first time he's been finished since I think 2009, 2008, something like that.
I heard it was first time in the UFC he's been knocked out.
He's got knocked out stiff. It was
Yeah.
brutal. Like it's up. That's contender for knockout of the year. The
Absolutely.
magnitude of the fight as well. That Usman should get the credit he deserves now.
Definitely.
100%.
I know he was getting booed as he was walking out, booed when he was being announced, but I think there was a lot of respect towards the end when he was obviously had the belt wrapped around him again with the crowd. There was no real booing, but he's one of those fighters. I like him as a fighter, but
he's just annoying. He's hard to like. He's hard to like. He's like, don't get us wrong, he's a phenomenal fighter. Like I think now he's certified himself as pound for pound number 1. Obviously with John Jones with inactivity and whatnot. He's definitely pound for pound number 1 for me at the moment. But just hard to like as a person. But
It's as well. Obviously he's a welterweight. I find it hot. Like he's 6 foot. He's only 12 stone, and if you look at the condition he's in as well, do you think there's any? I'm not suggesting anything, but obviously McGregor said it. Do you think there's anything to do with steroids there, or is that just pure? No,
just McGregor being McGregor. I think
true.
now you can't get away with it now. Absolutely not. Like he's just got it all. I just can't. But there is one man, the rematch by the name of Mr. Colby Covington.
He was in the crowd. He was giving it the big one.
It's a cracking fight.
How do you say that one playing out then?
I can't call it. My mind will change each day, like each week, as long as like I want it announced. Because obviously the first fight was a crap. First fight I had Colby up like, and it was just unbelievable from start to finish. Trade two wrestlers in the pocket and trading. I think it'll be exactly like that in the second fight.
I think as well after that fight, obviously we all knew how good Usman was, but now, and I know we all knew he had knockout power, but of that magnitude as well, does that impact the next fight with Colby Covington, or does your mind
Maybe.
kind of stay the same?
We know that he obviously broke Colby's jaw, didn't he? He broke Colby's jaw in the first fight. The power was there, but I think ever since that fight, he just grew as a fighter. He's evolved as Kamaru Usman, especially in the last two fights actually, against Gilbert Burns and obviously on Saturday, just showing a different Kamaru Usman, like standing there trading with Jorge Masvidal. Shows you how much of confidence he's got in his own ability now to stand there with one of the best boxers in the UFC. But yeah, that rematch against Colby it's too big not to make. Like they both want it. It's going to be unbelievable.
It should be a good one. What do you think's next for Jorge Masvidal?
I know there's one man wants to make his return. Seen obviously in the crowd, Mr. Nick Diaz.
I saw that. That was brilliant. They showed Jake Paul and everyone was booing. And then all of a sudden, Nick Diaz pops on the screen and everyone starts cheering. It was great. He hasn't fought in 6-7 years.
I think about 6 years. I think it was January 2015 since he last fought against Anderson Silva.
But I've seen on his Instagram he's in incredible shape.
They always keep themselves in good shape. The Diaz brothers, like the vegan triathletes. And like no matter what, they'll always be in good shape. Great cardio, whatnot. I think that's a big fight to make. But realistically, if I was UFC, I'd put Nick Diaz in with like a welterweight, like a Robbie Lawler type, like a Carlos Condit type. Maybe even Cowboy, something like that. Ease himself back in. Obviously, he can go for revenge for his little bro against Masvidal. I think that's a huge fight. Mega fight, but I'd be excited because Nick's always been talking about coming back, man. But looks like I think now's the time for him to come back. No, never really because he's getting older.
37-year-old now.
Yeah, like the division. I don't know what division. I think it'll be welterweight, but he's looking quite slim. I think it might be welterweight he comes into. I know Dana mentioned Hamzat Chimaev. Like definitely not. I would not want that fight. At all. No, because Hamza Chimaev will just destroy him. It'll be just so one side. It'll be unbelievable. It'll be not entertaining. No, I think Nick Diaz will come into a fight that'll be entertaining.
Yeah,
so
it doesn't necessarily need to be. Obviously he won't challenge for the title or anything, but I do think the Masvidal one would be a very, very good one. It would get a lot of pay-per-view buys for the UFC.
100%.
I would like to see that fight, definitely. Also, as well, we've seen on Twitter, as I mentioned before, McGregor and Usman going at it. What did you make of that?
It's funny, really. Like McGregor's being McGregor, and he does copy a lot off McGregor, green panty night and whatnot. Like, but
I think there's a couple of clips on YouTube of like the comparisons, and it is uncanny.
But nah, that's fun. It's funny to watch, but that fight will never happen. Like, as much as I love McGregor, Usman probably kill him. Like, to be fair. But there's 3 fighters I want to come out with Usman to possibly fight. Be 3 dream fighters for him to fight. Obviously, the Colby rematch, GSP, and Khabib. I love a Khabib fight.
Obviously,
I'd love it.
2 of those are very unlikely to happen. Because I saw a video from GSP the other day, and someone had asked him, what do you miss about fighting? And he said, I don't actually miss fighting. He said, that was the worst part about it. He said, I love training, and it's what I'm continuing to do. So, unfortunately, that is like a dream matchup, but I don't think we'll get to say that anytime soon. Or ever, really, for that matter. I don't think we'll ever say that.
I think that's possible. I think that could be possible, you know, if Usman keeps on going on, and Usman's going to climb up. And I don't know what George's record is, but he'll be getting talked about soon as the welterweight GOAT. And maybe that could tempt George coming out of retirement.
Well, how old's
One last fight.
GSP now, though? He's got to be
40,
late 30s, possibly early 40s.
I think it's early 40s.
But he's still in incredible condition, though.
Exactly. Plus, you seen him against Michael Bisping. How many years he took off? He took
4 years off.
4 years off, and he came back and he looked phenomenal.
He did, aye. And he was obviously a weight class above his usual weight.
Like I said, that'd be an interesting fight. But for me, Kamaru Usman's on his way to being going to the top, like 100%.
The top of
the GOAT welterweight status. Could even, I know it sounds outrageous to say, but could even MMA GOAT in time. I think if he gets, I think multiple weight now, you have to win multiple titles in different weight classes to be up for discussion. Really, I know he says he doesn't want to fight Adesanya, but
Adesanya
might.
I was going to say, let's say he loses his title to, like, I know Vittori's been announced for June 12th. I could be wrong.
Yeah, June 12th. Yeah.
Let's see if Vittori wins and he's out for quite a long time. I know Whittaker's next, but do you think Dana would be tempted to put Usman in with him? Because I think
100%.
Usman will probably beat him, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely 100%. Like, I think Usman's starting to get that control where he can pick and choose. Them type of fights. If he wanted to move up, he can move up. Do you know what I mean? Because if you look about the welterweight, the rankings, he's beat everyone. He's literally beat everyone. Maybe he's
some
won the
people
boy.
twice. Aye.
Exactly, he's beat Masvidal twice. He's obviously Leon Edwards, but he's beat him. He just hasn't got much to prove in that division, no man. I think possibly it depends. It all depends on if Adesanya loses his title or not. But I think him going to middleweight's inevitable. Really, like it's always going to happen.
I know. I can't exactly remember who he's fought. Like who he hasn't beaten in the top 10 rankings. Do you know who he's beaten or not?
I think there's Damian Maia's number 10. He's beat him. He's beat Tyron Woodley.
I heard he's been cut though.
Yeah, I think Tyron Woodley's been cut. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. He's beat Tyron Woodley. He's beat Leon Edwards. Beat Hogier twice. He's beat Burns, and he's beat Colby. And that's just really impressive, by the way. Like, he's got nothing left to prove in that division, really.
He could stay there and totally clear that division up and beat every single fighter in like the top 10, possibly multiple times. Because who haven't we said there? Luque, Wonderboy, and there's one more.
Michael Chiesa.
That's the one. I say him beating all them. Do you think if he stayed, if he doesn't move up, he's got to basically face all them? Because if not, he's just going to keep facing the same faces over and over again.
Yeah, he'll probably. He says himself like he doesn't really care about the GOAT status or welterweight GOAT status. You know what I mean? Like, but he might just want to chill down there and just wipe up that division.
It would be interesting though if he keeps facing the same fighters all the time, and if someone beats him, I would like to see that. I'd like to see how he responds.
Well, Chimaev, that'll be interesting in the future. I think he'll beat Chimaev, beats him up really badly. But
who do you think will win? Sorry,
Usman, I think Usman will beat up Chimaev badly. I know Chimaev will be coming back. I think it's Neil Magny in the summer. I think there's talks about that. But like I says, yeah, Usman's cleared up the division. Pretty much anyway.
Yeah, I think I can't really say Usman being beat. I can't say Usman being beaten in welterweight. If he moves up, he could possibly get beat, but depends who he faces.
Yeah. Agreed.
As well, obviously, we had those three. Obviously, every event has highs and lows. This one had three incredible highs. However, we had a massive low. Awful leg break. The worst leg break. The worst injury I've ever seen in sport.
It's horrific when he went to stand on it and just folded.
Oh my! It was awful. And like just before that as well, we had Jimmy Crute against Anthony Smith,
yeah.
And that was obviously called off just after the first round because
hats off to Jimmy Crute.
Absolutely, yeah.
He was when he stood up, he was pounding his chest, screaming. You tell him meant a lot to him, and he was heartbroken. That he'll come again, no 100%.
Oh, absolutely. But it was the way he kicked it out. Was the outside of his left knee? I think it was his left knee, and his ankle just went. That was awful in itself. So I've switched the telly on 3:00 in the morning. I've just watched that and been like, right, okay, that's not great. And the next fight was the Weidman fight, and 17 seconds in, for him to not only break his leg by kicking Uriah Hall's, it was the outside of his knee, wasn't it? Was it the bony area or the muscly area?
It was a bony area, wasn't it?
Oh, it's got to be. But
he checked it,
but then as you see, he hit it. He broke it on connection, and then obviously the adrenaline's going through. He mustn't have realised, and then went to stand back, put weight on it, and it just crumbled. It was awful. But then they kept showing it. I didn't want to see it.
I've been trying to avoid it all the way, but it's everywhere. I tell you, it's on Facebook, it's on Twitter, it's on Instagram, it's on Snapchat. Everyone's sharing it, and I just makes me want to feel sick every time I watch it.
Luckily, Chris Weidman's wife on Instagram put on that he's on the way to recovery, so hopefully he has a quick recovery. Do you think he'll be back?
Yeah, he will be back. In fact,
because he's 36-year-old now. He's just
that's a year out. That
easy a year. If he comes back, he'll be 37. And I'd
call it a day personally.
I would as well, but when we're not, UFC fighters, they have very different minds to most people. But it was awful, and he's now been involved in 2 of the 3 leg breaks in the UFC. Obviously, the Anderson Silva one, which
it was just really bad.
Moving on to boxing now, we've got an event on May the 1st. We've got Parker versus Chisora. How do you say that one going?
It's a quality fight. I think I love Del Boy. I think I'll stick my guns. I think Del Boy. There's Joseph Parkinson's. I think was it the Dillian White fight. He hasn't done much at all. No, obviously his 2 losses have come against Dillian White and Anthony Joshua. But he hasn't done a lot. Obviously, she's always come off a loss against Usyk. He put in a really good performance, I thought. And you can never count out Del Boy, and he's very dangerous in them for early rounds. But I just see him grinding out a decision. Just pushing the pace, getting in his face. I'd say Del Boy getting him. Might even stop him. But I'm excited for that fight. It's a decent card. Obviously, the co-main event, you've got Katie Taylor against Natasha Jonas, which is a tremendous fight. Katie Taylor's brilliant. She'll put on another beautiful display. Obviously, the return of Chris Eubank Jr. fighting Marcus Morrison, which is pretty much a one-sided, getting back in the swing of things. And the WBA light heavyweight champion, Dimitri Bivol, who I think's quality, fighting Craig Richards in a world title fight. That's going to be a great fight as well. Obviously, return of Campbell Hatton. That's happening as well. And Scott Fitzgerald, which I'm pleased about, like, because Scott Fitzgerald, he's a quality fighter. He's a pick of the bunch at that super welterweight division. He's a pick of the bunch for me. Obviously beating Anthony Fowler and Ted Cheeseman quite handily. So I'm excited to see him back. Obviously he's had some issues outside of the ring. He's put that behind him. Hopefully he gets back to what he's doing. Best really loves boxing. But yeah, I'm really excited for that card on Saturday, and it should be a really good one. Obviously, I want to point out something that happened on Saturday night in the UFC. Obviously, you mentioned it earlier. Jake Paul was in attendance, Mr. Jake Paul. And apparently, he was pointing at DC, whilst DC was doing the broadcast, taunting them. And it was like during a commercial break, DC got out of his commentary desk and went straight over him and just says to him, "Don't fucking make, so I'm knocking you out." And that's DC doesn't play about, man. Like, he just doesn't, and it shut Jake Paul up, really.
You could tell. You
don't want to fuck with DC. Like, if you take DC, will put Jake Paul's spark out 100%. If you take shots off Stevie and Anthony Rumble Johnson and John Jones, is Jake Paul going to beat you?
Absolutely no chance.
That fight will never happen anyway. It shouldn't happen. Like DC said, what's Jake Paul done to deserve to fight DC? DC is a Hall of Famer, UFC, one of the greatest of all time. Like, what's Jake Paul done to deserve to fight someone like DC? It's just pathetic, really. But it made us laugh. DC, I love DC. He's such a great character.
Absolutely. But I hate Jake Paul as much as everyone else, but obviously Woodley's been cut, and they were kind of back and forth on Twitter. Tyron Woodley would kill Jake Paul.
But Jake Paul, the lad's clever.
He's very clever.
If he fights anyone that's going to fight back, he's getting put to sleep.
Absolutely, that's why he's not fought a boxer yet.
Exactly, like fight Tommy Fury or something like that. I'll not respect him as a fighter. He's saying, "Oh, respect me, I'm a professional fighter." You can't really call yourself a professional boxer when you haven't fought one professional boxer.
Exactly.
You fought a YouTuber, a 5'9" NBA.
Two YouTubers.
Well, one was amateur, but he's fought. I'm talking about his pro record. He's fought a YouTuber, a 5'9" NBA basketball player, and a 40-year-old wrestler who's probably the worst striker in the UFC history, who just come off a hip replacement, hip surgery. Like, it's just bizarre. Diaz says fair play, we get to everyone talking, but yeah,
he's very clever in that respect. But
I just don't like Jake Paul.
The less said, the better about Jake Paul. Going back to the Parker Chisora fight, just to let everyone know, we'll be doing a full breakdown. James will be back for that one. We'll be doing a full breakdown of that fight on our next podcast next week, and then we'll have the kind of the build up to the Billy Joe Saunders versus Canelo fight, and we'll also look ahead to UFC 262, but not in too much detail, because we'll cover that when we cover that.
Yeah.
Right, that's all we've got time for today. We really hope you enjoyed the episode. Once again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It does really help us out. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter for the latest updates. The links will be down in the description below. So thank you very much for watching. We'll hope to see you in the next one.
Boom.